Have you ever felt like you've hit rock bottom? Like you've argued your case with God and the universe and all you got back was silence? That's exactly where we find Job. He's lost everything. He's covered in sores. And he's just had this long, intense debate with his friends and even with God. Then, in chapter 41, God does something unexpected. He doesn't give Job a neat, tidy answer. He doesn't say, "Job, here's the reason for all your suffering." Instead, he starts talking about a creature. A massive, terrifying, fire-breathing sea monster called Leviathan. God spends an entire chapter describing this beast. He asks Job, "Can you pull in Leviathan with a fishhook, or tie down its tongue with a rope? Can you put a cord through its nose, or pierce its jaw with a hook?" God goes on, detailing Leviathan's impenetrable scales, its fearsome teeth, and the way it makes the deep sea churn like a boiling pot. Its eyes are like the rays of dawn, and firebrands stream from its mouth. This thing is the king of all proud beasts. What's the point of all this? Is God just showing off? No. There's something much deeper going on. God is showing Job the sheer scale of his power and wisdom. He's basically saying, "Job, you can't even begin to comprehend this one creature I made. How could you possibly understand the full workings of my universe and my plan for your life?" It's a lesson in humility. Sometimes, we're not meant to have all the answers. Sometimes, we just have to trust that the one who created Leviathan also has a plan for us, even when it feels chaotic and painful. This leads us into chapter 42, which is the grand finale of Job's story. After this incredible display of God's power, Job's whole perspective shifts. He finally gets it. He says to God, "I know that you can do all things. No purpose of yours can be thwarted." You asked, "Who is this that obscures my plans without knowledge? Surely I spoke of things I did not understand, things too wonderful for me to know." Job stops demanding answers and starts surrendering in awe. He says, "My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you." It's one of the most powerful moments in the entire Bible. Job's suffering hasn't been explained away, but his encounter with the raw, untamable power of God changes him completely. He repents, not because he sinned, but because he realizes his smallness in the face of God's greatness. And what happens next? God restores Job. He gives him double what he had before. He gets new children, his health back, and lives a long, full life. God also addresses Job's friends, the ones who gave him all that bad advice. He tells them they were wrong, and that Job was the one who spoke rightly about him. So, what's the takeaway for us? Life will throw things at us that we can't understand. We'll face our own leviathans, problems so big and scary, they feel like they could swallow us whole. And in those moments, it's okay to cry out and ask why. But the story of Job reminds us that sometimes the answer isn't a neat explanation. Sometimes, the answer is an encounter with God Himself, a reminder that He is bigger than our problems, wiser than our questions, and ultimately, in control. It's about moving from just hearing about God to truly seeing Him in our lives. It's about finding peace not in having all the answers, but in trusting the one who does. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next book.